Our next speaker. The speech is going to be taken from the Advanced Communication manual. The speech is Learn How to Travel Smart. The purpose of the speech is to inform, to select new and useful information, organize for easy understandability and retention, and to motivate the audience to learn. Before I welcome the next speaker, I'll tell you a short story. While I was walking to the lab this morning, just as I approached the entrance downstairs from the main entrance, I saw a queue of people waiting to get into the lab. But alas, they couldn't get in because Wolfgang here was stuck in the door. I could see him struggling to get in or get out, but he could do neither. He had a big bag hanging from his neck that you'd be forgiven to think he was going camping. On his right hand was what looked like a guitar bag, and hanging down his pants was his laptop bag. It made me wonder, what is he thinking? Finally, though, the security came to his rescue, and here he is now. The next speech is titled Learn How to Travel Smart. Wolfgang Kraus. Mr. Timer, please green at 6, yellow at 7, and red at 8.
Toastmasters. As Steve said, I had a hard time this morning getting into this lab because I had these 3 bags with me. I had this laptop bag over my shoulder, my camera bag on my back, and then I was carrying this big bag with me. The purpose of these 3 bags is quite simple. The laptop bag is because I went to work and I need my laptop. The camera bag, I like taking pictures, so I need my camera with me all the time. And the big bag, that's a bit more complicated because this big bag contains many, many small items. To say it in one sentence, I need all these bags for the next couple of days, but in a little bit more explanation, I would describe it like that. In this big bag, I have a bunch of documents, like a birth certificate, an X-ray of my upper body, a GPS, winter clothes, summer clothes, and a bunch of other stuff. Why do I need that? Because in the evening I have to go to downtown Toronto. There I will catch a bus which drives me all the way to Montreal. I get to Montreal tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Then I have 1 hour time to go to the hotel, leave my bags there, take all these documents, and go with documents to my US green card interview to the US Consular Center in Montreal. In case I'm lucky, I have at least time to brush my teeth and get everything done. When I get there, this takes me busy until about noontime. Afterwards, I take these documents back, put them to the hotel, take my laptop back, and go to work, because Thursday is a normal working day for me, as it is for you. But after work, I go back to the hotel, take this 1 letter out of my big bag, leave my laptop back in the hotel, and meet a friend in Montreal, because he recently moved from Markham to Montreal and is waiting for this letter. Then we might have a couple of drinks. Next morning I wake up in Montreal again, take my winter clothes out of my big bag, and go to work again. At the end of the day, I take all my 3 bags with me and go to the airport. At about 8, I'm flying to Florida, where I get a rental car at about 11, take my GPS out of my big bag, and this GPS will help me to find my parents somewhere in Fort Lauderdale. Then I will spend a couple of days with my parents, but as you can imagine, I don't need these winter clothes in Florida, so that's why I have all these summer clothes with me. I have shorts, pants, sunglasses, and sun lotion with me. And at the end, on Tuesday night, I'm returning back to Toronto, or back home. I need all these things because I have to do this interview, I have to do all these other things, but I have to be smart by that, and I have to be efficient, because I have to combine work, interview, and meeting my parents and vacation. And today I want to share a few ideas how you can travel smart without wasting a lot of time, with saving money, and I will do this with a few stories which happened in the past or which for trips which I booked for the future. And I want to start with the first one, Montreal. As I said, I have to be in Montreal tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I have a few options to go to Montreal. For example, I can easily drive there with a car. If I drive with a car, it takes me about 6 hours. I have to pay for gas. And I have one problem. Do I drive tonight or do I drive tomorrow morning? I have to be there at 8. So driving this evening would be a smart idea, but I would get to Montreal at night, so I need to have like some kind of hotel. So I have to pay for that. Not really smart. I could also go to bed early this night, wake up maybe at like midnight, drive to Montreal. It's wonderful, I would save the hotel, but what do? I can survive my interview, but then I have to go to work, and if I didn't sleep at night, I mean, I might be quite tired, not be as efficient. Flying the same problem, leaving this night tomorrow morning, doesn't work. It's not really smart. Therefore, I decided to take a bus. I'm leaving tonight at midnight, going from downtown to Montreal, get to Montreal, I can sleep in the bus, I have Wi-Fi in the bus, it cost me $40 just to get there. And I did the same with my parents when they came visit me here. We went from Toronto all the way to New York, and you can see it here, we paid $92 in total. For 3 adults, means $30 per person, but my parents, they came, they are a little bit older, they came with many bags, so in other words, we paid $23 per bag to get from downtown Toronto to downtown Manhattan. We reached Penn Station at 7 a.m. in the morning, means we checked into our hotel at 7:20 and had breakfast on Times Square at 8 a.m. in the morning and could use this full day in New York without paying any kind of accommodation the day before. I believe that's quite smart. And therefore, one of the things which is very important is megabus.com, because they offer these kind of deals. One day, I was walking around with Samir around the lab, and then he started like talking about Vancouver. And in my mind, I connected Vancouver with Winter Olympics. I connected Vancouver with Canada, but we are here in Canada too. So I'm like, why am I here and not in Vancouver for the Winter Olympics? Tough question. I checked Air Canada, I went to kayak.com, and they all asked me for $760 for a round trip from Toronto to Vancouver. $760, I mean, for someone like me who's not really that interested in sport, maybe a little bit too much. So I was looking around and said, like, that's not smart, I have to find a better deal. I went to the same website and I said, okay, I don't want to fly from Toronto, I want to fly from Buffalo. And instead of flying to Vancouver, because Vancouver seems to be quite expensive, I'm flying to Seattle. Same distance as you can see, with the transportation from Toronto to Buffalo, the flight to Seattle and back, I'm paying $220, which saves me at this point $540 just for going to the other side of the continent. I believe this is quite smart. Also, I figured out for my Vancouver, for Winter Olympics, I need some tickets. Where do I get these tickets from? I figured out if I book them over Germany and ship the tickets from Germany all the way to here, I get them for a normal price without paying any these $400 to $500 what you have to pay these days when you buy tickets for Winter Olympics from these auctions. Quite smart. And the third idea, which I want to share, how you can be smart, is about accommodation. We all, when we go traveling, we need some kind of hotel somewhere. There are a few options. You can just like call a hotel, or you go to hotels.com or Expedia to look for what kind of deals and hotels you have. And then they tell you a price and say, okay, if you go to Ottawa, it costs you maybe like $100 for a suite for a 3-star hotel. I did this, and then, yeah, $100, is it really worth spending or paying the price what the hotel is asking you for? So I went to Priceline.com, said, okay, I want to go to Ottawa for one night, I want to have 3-star hotel, but I'm willing to pay $45. I said, okay, bid now. And right away, this website was telling me, okay, we found a hotel with 3 stars in Ottawa which accepts your price. How does this work? In case this hotel has a lot of capacity left and this room would be empty, they accept some kind of money, at least to get their cost and to get the hotel covered. So instead of paying $100, we just paid $50 with tax, had a wonderful night in downtown Ottawa, and it was quite amazing to get the same hotel what other people get for twice as much. Therefore, if you start today, use, for example, Megabus for smart connections somewhere with a bus. If you use kayak.com for getting cheap flights and smart flights, Priceline for smart accommodations, or Alamo.com for rental cars, you can be really smart when traveling. You can save a lot of time and a lot of money. I never talked about Alamo.com, but I talked about it in a previous speech in 2009. And in case you don't remember that, you need more information, you can just ask me, and I can provide you with some details about it. Thank you very much.